Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be doing a vinyl update video just showing some of the records that I've picked up over the last couple of months, over the summer. So yeah, a variety of things here, some online stuff, some things from when I went down to Newcastle. I met up with my good friend Oliver Saunders, and then we've also got some stuff from a trip to Liverpool. And then what else is there? And then yeah, like all sorts really to go through today. First one up is an album I've been looking for a little while now by a really good Australian band, The Church here. So I finally got a copy of their album, Sometime Anywhere here. This is from the 90s, 94, and this is actually like an original copy, because I think it was reissued fairly recently, maybe in the last 5 years. But even those have got really expensive. So this was just a Discogs purchase. It's still got its original hype sticker there. It was in the shrink wrap, so I actually ended up, I got a really good deal on this actually, and it's in lovely condition, nice gatefold. As I said, it was basically mint when it came. And yeah, it's a really good album. A little bit long, possibly. A lot of church albums do tend to be a little bit long, in the tooth. This one's definitely that. But there's some great stuff on here. Very atmospheric songs. This has definitely got more of a psychedelic sort of feel to it. And no, it's a really good album. So I said that was a Discogs purchase. And then usually on Discogs, I will look at when I find a good deal like that. I will look and see what else the seller has that is of interest. So these next two were just from that same seller. So I got this album here, which is another 10,000 Maniacs album here. This one is called The Wishing Well. I believe this is maybe their debut album or maybe the second album, but I absolutely love the album In My Tribe, which I believe I showed in my last vinyl update video. And this was, came out around the same sort of time, 85 on this, so a couple of years earlier. And this is a great album still, maybe not quite as good as In My Tribe, but still good stuff here from 10,000 Maniacs there. And then we've got a bit of obscure 80s synth pop here, with a band called Friends Again. So these, I think I'll mention it a couple of times again this video, I'm sure, but there's a great YouTube channel, and I've mentioned it before on my channel, called Perfect Pop Songs, that kind of puts up, just an array of random tracks, maybe every couple of days, there'll be a sort of 5 new songs uploaded on it, and I won't listen to every single thing they put up, but occasionally I'll just be scrolling through and think, oh yeah, that band looks interesting, I'll click on them, and this was just one of them, and they're really good. They're very maybe a bit more synthy than I'd normally go for, but still really good. Kind of thinking China Crisis, Lotus Eaters kind of thing possibly. This was their only album from 1984, and it's on their Fontana Records. A little bit tricky to get now, this, no, a very good album here though. Friends Again. Okay, next couple of things now are all from VoxBox Music in Edinburgh, one of the Edinburgh record shops, which I don't go to too often, but I've just started going again more recently, and they've had some really great stuff in, I have to say. Not the cheapest shop in the world. They do, they may be a little bit pricey, but everything they stock is in immaculate condition. So I think you always know that you may be paying a little bit more than you would say online, but even then, not by much really. So first one I got here is an album that I've already shown on my YouTube channel, because it did an album ranking for 1988, and this straight in our first time hearing it came, I think, in the top 5 off that list. So you might know what it is already, but it's the Go-Betweens, 16 Lovers Lane here. Absolutely brilliant album. I was semi-familiar with the Go-Betweens. I had what's the one, Liberty Bell and the Black Diamond Express. I've got that one already, and then I've got some of their early stuff, a compilation of that as well. But this album just absolutely blew me away. It's just brilliant. 10 songs, but near enough perfect album really. So fantastic stuff here. Go-Betweens, great Australian band there, 1988, like I said. And this is, I'm not sure what. Oh, this is a Canadian pressing actually, and it's unfortunately got a little blemish there. It was kind of a punctured through thing to show maybe discounted back in the day possibly. But that's the only wee blemish on it. But aside from that, it is in immaculate condition. And then at the same time as those, at VoxBox, they had a couple of albums by Kitchens of Distinction in, one of my favourite kind of, like sort of like 90s kind of shoegazy like sort of bands. So this album was one that I have been looking for a wee while now, which is their debut album, which is called Love Is Hell here. I really don't like the Kitchens of Distinction artwork, but the music is fantastic, and there's so many great songs like on this album, like Third Time We Opened the Capsule, like In a Cave Prize, just very like atmospheric songs. And this album's also probably got slightly more of a kind of sort of post-punky edge to it, like as well. It feels a little bit rawer than some of like their later albums, which definitely have more of a kind of smoothness to them. But this was great though, and it's Love Is Hell by Kitchens of Distinction. Now they also had this album here, which I didn't need to get, another Kitchens of Distinction one because I've got the reissue, but they were selling this, and I think it was maybe about £20-25 they wanted for this, which is an absolute steal. So I got an original copy here of The Death of Cool here, which is their third album from 1992, and this is one of my all-time favourite albums now. This is again an absolutely flawless album for me, like near enough. I think when I reviewed it, I gave it something like, they were getting like something like 92-93%. It's just absolutely stunningly good album, and so underrated. It's just such a shame that it just was not like was just not successful like in like the slightest. I mean, it's not the most commercial album like in like the world, but I mean even then, like songs like When in Heaven and For Men, Breathing Fear, and Smiling like in particular is a really good like little kind of like sort of jangly pop song. So yeah, it's kind of a shame that it just didn't sort of take off. And then there's other moments on here like things like Gone World Gone, Blue Petal that are quite atmospheric and just very moving, very powerful songs for me. So yeah, Kitchens of Distinction, a brilliant band, and this is the album to check out like if like you're not familiar with them. And then also in the store at the same time as those, I picked up a couple of little singles here. Again, didn't really need to get these, but I just thought why not. Particularly, I guess this George Harrison one. Not seen this picture sleeve before for all those years ago. I believe this is actually like an American like picture sleeve for his song there from 1981. And then I also got this one here, which is Ringo, Back Off Boogaloo here for the really good like picture sleeve there. And this is it's on a weird apple. It's on a blue apple, this one here. So that's Ringo and Back Off Boogaloo. And then got another single from there, which I think means now that I only have one more single to collect from the Jam. So I've got a copy of This Is the Modern World here, or actually just The Modern World, like is like the name like off like the song. Again, not in amazing condition, but cheap. Very cheap, and just another one to sort of tick off like on like my Jam collection. I think the only one I need to get now is In the City, the debut, which is the most difficult one to get because not that I didn't sell like that many copies. I think it was still a top 20 hit possibly, but just being the debut single, like quite difficult to come by. But this one is also a very good song. Okay, so I got all those one weekend, and then I think it was either the next weekend like or the weekend after I went back to VoxBox, simply because they had a couple more Go-Betweens albums like in like the racks like when like I was looking, but again I didn't want to buy them all like in like a wanna, but I just loved 16 Lovers Lane so much that I felt I had to go back and get these two. That's what I ended up doing. So I got a copy of Spring Hill Fair here, 1984 on this one here. Great album. The early Go-Betweens like is a lot more artsy, a little bit more, maybe more difficult perhaps to sort of like get into. I'd say 60 Lovers Lane, anyone would like that album. Like if like you're into any sort of music, like sort of like 80s kind of jangle pop or like kind of pop or rock or whatever, 60 Lovers Lane like is a great album. These are like, this is maybe a little bit less like accessible, but it's still really good though. Favourite song on there would be Draining the Pool for You. It's just a fantastic track there. So yeah, that's Spring Hill Fair. And then they also had a copy of Tallulah here, the Go-Betweens. So again, these Go-Betweens albums, you rarely see them like in like the UK really, and I was just fortunate enough that like these all must have been like from like someone's collection, and I ended up like just buying a lot of them. So great tracks on here like as well, but again it's maybe not quite as strong as 16 Lovers Lane, but like a lot of like good stuff like on this album as well. Tallulah from 1987, I think, on this one. And then also at the same time as buying those in VoxBox, I got these two here. So I got this one, which is by the Triffids. So again, another kind of like Australian band. This is a kind of EP or kind of EP mini album. So I think there's 7 tracks on here, so it's kind of, yeah, that sort of weird sort of halfway house between like a single, like in an album, called, Raining Pleasure. This is from something like 83, I think. It's quite early for the Triffids, and it's pretty good. There's some good tracks in there, but again, there's also like a couple of songs that are very much kind of B-side sort of like material. So yeah, far from essential, this one here, but nice to pick it up though, like nonetheless. Again, you rarely see their stuff, like, and like I'm eager to try and get some more of their sort of proper albums. And then also seen this as well, which I maybe slightly regret getting now because I didn't really like this album too much. But I've seen this, which is an original copy of a Boo Radley's album called Come On Kid. So Boo Radley's were really good, yeah, kind of sort of Britpop adjacent band, sort of like in like the 90s. By this point, they were kind of they kind of had like their big album, which was called Wake Up, and then this was the follow up to it. But I didn't really like it. I just thought it was very forgettable. And just like a little bit boring for me. But it is a original copy of it from 1996, so it's a little bit rarer to find. But I did pay a little bit for it as well. Yeah, I paid like £30 for this. So it wasn't super cheap. Like it wasn't super cheap like for like an album that I turned out not to really care for too much. And then I've got a couple of reissues that came out over the past couple of months as well. 2 more Amitri reissues. So I got a copy of Some Other Suckers Parade here, which is a decent album. It's okay, this one. 97, so quite late for Amitri. I think these are like the last 2, and they definitely like lost like their touch a little bit compared to like Change Everything, Waking Hours, and what's the other one? Twisted. Like, that's a good album. This one maybe not so quite as good. A couple of good singles, like Not Where It's At, the opening track is brilliant, up there with the very best of Amitri, but the rest of the album a little bit forgettable. And similar kind of thing with this one here, which is actually this has got a signed insert with it, so it kind of like the insert sort of comes out and then you've got the album. But this is the album, which is called Can You Do Me Good? Can You Do Me Good? Yeah, from something like 2001, I want to say. And again, this was fairly average for me, like as an album. Didn't really much care for it too much really. Okay, so there's a couple of items now, all from a recent trip to Newcastle that I did to meet up with Ollie Saunders. We went to a couple of Newcastle record shops, again like the city centre, and then also to a record fair in South Shields that Ollie did really well at. Actually, I'm not sure if he showed it like on like his channel yet, but like he got very much like a Grail Paul McCartney find I got like the record fair. But yeah, like I did okay like on like this trip like as well. I got a couple of things. So from a Newcastle shop called, I think this was Beatbox Music, like I want to say like it was called, very close to like the train station anyway. Got a few things here. So I got this Deacon Blue single for the song Your Swaying Arms. But what sort of drew me into this was the fact it said it was signed, but it's not actually. I mean, the signing, obviously someone's pen's broke like on like the back of it, so I can make out Lorraine McIntosh's signature there, but I can't see, Ricky Ross on here. I don't know where he's signed it, like, or like if he signed it at all, like on here. But yeah, it was still cheap enough anyway. It was the same price, like it was the same price the standard single it would have been like anyway. So yeah, Your Swaying Arms from their, I think their 3rd album that I forget the name of it, but yeah, a good song though. And then I also got this as well, which completes my collection now of field music. So this is the album Music for Drifters here. Cool cover, and the album it's an instrumental soundtrack thing, so it's definitely very much for the field music completists, which I probably would consider myself like as such. Yeah, like it is just like it's a soundtrack album, not really much more to say like other than that. I then got a couple of singles from there as well. I think these were something like what was it, maybe like £2 each, or maybe like three for a fiver or something like that. There's a wee deal anyway, because I didn't really need to get at least one of these anyway, but I got them anyway. So I got this one, which is a School of Language. So this is one of the Field Music brothers. I believe it is David Brewis, who this is his kind of solo side project, and this was obviously just like one of the singles taken from it from 2008. So going back a little bit now, but yeah, that's School of Language, and the song is called Rockist Single there. Also got this one here, which is ELO, and a Sweet Talking Woman here, more just for the kind of like the picture sleeve, which I think is like rather nice of their kind of on-tour sort of spaceship there. Again, didn't need to get this because the B-side is just a track from one of their earlier albums, Bluebird is Dead there, but it is on quite a nice purple vinyl there, which is quite cool. So yeah, that's ELO and Sweet Talking Woman. And then also got this single as well, which is maybe the one like I didn't really need to get because it's just the reissue of Aztec Camera and Oblivious here, which yeah, like I think like this single has a crazy history. I think they reissued it about at least 4 times, like I want to say, like before like it became like a hit, or so like yeah, I'm not sure where this one fits. I think this maybe was like the later reissue like off it, but it's a great song though, like Aztec Camera, fantastic track, and yeah, just nice to get like a copy of it there. And then from the record fair in South Shields here, I got a few bits and pieces here. So one sell like in particular, like had some great albums going, yeah, like quite rare stuff, very reasonably priced like as well. So I actually got I think I got all 3 things like from like the same guy like at like the fair. So I got a copy here of Scott Walker, his second solo album here. And yeah, this is a fantastic record. All of Scott Walker's solo stuff in kind of like the late 60s like is great. 68 on this one here, and yeah, it's really good. Or maybe like late 67, like I'm not sure. A lot of great songs, and it also comes with a nice insert as well, which I believe is quite rare actually. You don't often see them with this insert like anymore. A lot of great tracks on this album: Plastic Palace People, the Amorous Humphrey Plug, strange title but great song. And it's also the album that has the track Jackie on it as well, which is I think a cover, but was one of his more popular kind of singles. So no, great record there, Scott 2. They also had a copy of this as well, which has to be one of my favourite album covers going, has to be said. Scott 3 here. So yeah, of course, the follow-up to Scott 2. And this is, yeah, this is a brilliant album. It's, yeah, absolutely glorious stuff here. And just look at that cover. It's absolutely beautiful. Again, I think this had been reissued, but yeah, nothing beats getting like a nice like original copy of it there. Lovely artwork there. And what's the label? I think that these are all just on the kind of Philips label there. But these are all great albums and so underappreciated. I think kind of every album that he made got better and better, but sold less and less as his career went on. But yeah, like all these records, like Scott 1, 2, 3 and 4 are all amazing. And they also picked up this album here by Felt here. I believe this is the last Felt album called Me and a Monkey on the Moon. And yeah, it's thankfully the album's not quite as crazy as it sounds. It's actually definitely one of Felt's more accessible albums. I think again with Felt, they kind of started off quite post-punk, quite dark, and yeah, a little bit quite primitive. There's a lot of kind of like on that first album, Crumbling the Antiseptic Beauty, there's a lot of kind of drums and stuff on it. But this album, they're basically a pop band by this point now, but still really good stuff here, from 1989 on this one here. And again, like a lot of Felt albums, you rarely see them, so when I seen this, I was like, yeah, I think I've got to have that. And then we then took another little trip out to a shop in, where was it now? Was it Whitley Bay, I think it was. It was on the other side of Gulf Black Battalion. It wasn't North Shields, it was slightly further around, so I think that might be Whitley Bay. And yeah, it was an okay shop. The guy running it was really, really nice, very talkative. So I kind of felt I kind of had to buy something. So I ended up finding this in lovely condition, which I've not actually really seen like in like this condition anyway, which is a copy of the Plastic Ono Band single Cold Turkey here. It was a little bit pricey. I think it was a tenner I paid for this, but it is in lovely condition there, and it's got the original Apple label that has Play Loud on it there. I thought it actually said Play Quiet like on like the Yoko side, but like it actually says Play Loud like on her side like as well, so I'm not sure, maybe this is like a rare misprint perhaps, but yeah, Cold Turkey there, the first John Lennon solo single, really. Yeah, this was before Give Peace a Chance, wasn't it? I think it was. I'm like now doubting myself, but yeah, like from 69 anyway. Yeah, Plastic Ono Band. Okay, next little batch now are things I bought from a recent trip to Liverpool. Again, I was just down that way visiting my grandparents. So again, I went on a little trip out to Liverpool this time, rather than Manchester. And I got a few bits and pieces here. So I got this from I think these are all actually from Dig Vinyl, like in like Liverpool city centre. So I got this album here, which is a little bit tricky to find. It's an original copy of Woodface by Crowded House here. A great album here from 1991, I think, on this one here. A little bit pricey. I paid $35 for it, but even then, like, a reissue, you'd probably still be talking like even like a reissue, like you wouldn't have much change like out of like £30, and I just prefer getting like originals. Like I've got like all my other Crowded House stuff like is like originals, so I thought I'd keep it up with this album. So this has got a lot of like the most popular songs in it, like Weather With You, Chocolate Cake, It's Only Natural, that's a great song. 4 Seasons in One Day, like I mean the whole of side one is basically just hits after hit, really. Surprisingly not so much of a successful album like in like America though. Apparently like this was a big flop like in like America, but like in like the UK was very much their kind of big album here. So no, Woodface by Crowded House, one that was overdue for being added to my collection. Also picked up this here, which is, again, it was fairly cheap. There's £4 I paid for this, which is an Orange Juice 12-inch single for the song Flesh of My Flesh here. Really good, like, little song. But I must say, that when I got it home, like, I was maybe a bit disappointed because it comes with an insert, but it's only I think it's Malcolm Ross, like, the guitarist there. And I was like, I thought they'd either have 4 inserts or, like, what have you, like, for, like, the 4 members. But it actually turns out that, like, with copies of this, each copy only came with 1 insert, and it was at complete random, which one like you got. So that's what like I ended up with, and it's a good song from the I think this is from the Rip It Up album, 83 it says like on like the back here, so maybe it's not actually, I'm not sure, but it's a good song there though, Flesh of My Flesh by Orange Juice. And next up now is an album by really well acclaimed like Scottish band, very commercially successful, but very much a band who went on a journey. Started off quite this is how they started off. So it's Simple Minds. This is the album, Real to Real Cacophony, their second album from 1979 here. And if you think this is like Waterfront and Don't You Forget About Me, think again. Early Simple Minds is quite definitely kind of a post-punk sort of feel to it. The guy here, a fair bit of like Gary Newman in here as well, quite sort of synth heavy, but interesting stuff though. Interesting to see where they went and how they progressed as a band. This is from as I said 79, but it's a slightly later reissue. I unfortunately discovered the 82 reissue, so it's maybe not quite as rare as I thought it was, because these records, these early Simple Minds records, didn't sell one bit really. So I thought I had something a bit rarer here, than it actually was. I then got a couple of singles from there as well. So I got this one, which is an Inspiral Carpets single for This Is How It Feels. Really good song here, definitely their best song for me. I'm not massive on the Inspiral Carpets. I've tried to get into them. I've got one of their albums, and I think I've listened through their hits and that, but they just don't quite do it for me. But this is a great song. This Is How It Feels. Fantastic stuff. I got this Prefab Sprout one here. for the song Don't Sing here. Again, lovely condition, debut single here. Again, didn't really sell much, but a fantastic song though. And yeah, I feel like I'm slowly collecting like all the Prefab Sprout singles. And on that topic, I got another copy here of The King of Rock and Roll. I've already got this single in at least the 7-inch and the 12-inch, but this one, what piqued my interest was that it comes with a it says includes the Sprouts rock and roll trivia chart and postcards, but that's actually maybe slightly like not quite giving the full story, because you do get the kind of trivia chart and there's kind of questions about rock and roll music and sort of history and stuff, and then there's these kind of you think, okay, what are these trivia counters here, and then basically the single itself then folds out into a board game, so like a kind of like a Trivial Pursuit style board game. Absolutely crazy stuff here, like definitely rivaling XTC for some of like their kind of singles packaging, and then of course you get the 7-inch in there like as well. So yeah, I mean, they definitely milked this single. I mean, it's almost like no wonder it was a massive hit, because they seem to release it in like every format like under the sun. Okay, that was all the stuff there I got from Liverpool. The next few things here are all another online order, like another Discogs order. And again, I'll go back to that YouTube channel, like I mentioned, Perfect Pop Songs, where a song of this band came up. And again, they just looked interesting, looked like my sort of thing. You kind of sense it like from like how a band looks like a little bit. And I really liked the song. It was from this album here, which I ended up like going away like and ordering. So the band's called the Connells. They're like a US band, very Beatlesy, very Birdsy, kind of sort of jangly Americana sort of style, but very good. This is from what's this? This is from '89, and this is their third album here. And I think the song was either Something to Say or Fun and Games was the song that sort of drew me in and was like, ooh, like this is really good stuff. Like this is a really good album here as well, 1989. So I said that was on Discogs, and this is unfortunately quite tricky to get. I don't think it has ever been reissued, but one that is quite easy to get though, and like also was also was being sold by the same seller like at like the same time, so thought I'd maybe chuck it into the order, was their debut album, which is called Darker Days here, and this is from '85, and again, really good stuff here. Maybe a little bit more on the kind of post-punky side of things like on this album, a little bit sort of like the guitars are maybe slightly louder like on here, but still very good stuff, still very sort of tight songwriting. This is on a label called Demon Records, and it's a UK pressing. So yeah, the Connells there. And then as I said, because that was a Discogs order, I also looked to see what else the seller had, and he did have quite a lot of like other good things like going. So like I did quite a few of them, like do like my basket and sort of like put through the order. So I got this 12-inch single for the Railway Children, great Wigan band here. This is for the song Music Stop, and it's a brilliant song, Music Stop, fantastic track. It should have been a hit single, I think. It's commercial, but it's again, they were maybe slightly like out of time a little bit, 1990, but still everything was all still about baggy and all that, but they weren't really baggy, they were more of a jangle band. But no, the Railway Children, fantastic stuff. He had a copy of this, which is an Elvis Costello single, but it's the American cover of Every Day I Write the Book, so completely different artwork to the UK single. Quite like it actually. I think it's quite a stylish cover there, just something that I've literally never seen before. And he also had a couple of Lilac Time singles as well. Like you know that I'm a big fan of Stephen Duffy and the Lilac Time, so I was very glad to add American Eyes here to my order. One of their best songs going, and maybe even slightly better actually. The track that You've Got to Love here from the debut Lilac Time album. So yeah, very happy to get both of these as well. And they also had in the order as well a Lloyd Cole single box set here. This is for the song Don't Look Back from his debut solo album. It's just one of these slightly daft sort of box set. Daft in this case because there's not a lot in it really. Like all you get is the single and then you get a couple of postcards that could have quite easily just been stuffed in the single. I mean, they're nice enough, yeah, but it's yeah, maybe packaging overkill like a little bit there. Okay, and now just to finish up, I've got a couple of new purchases here, all bought yesterday, like at like Asai Records, like in Edinburgh. So I picked up this album here, which again, I've already shown 2 albums by them, but I just love this band so much. I really got into them that I picked up another album by the Connells, which is the album Ring here. This is probably their most popular album here. This is just a reissue of it from '93, because I don't think it got much of a widespread vinyl release. It certainly says that like on like the hype sticker, first ever wide vinyl release here, and this actually had quite a popular song with it, like in like the UK, the song 74, 75, which isn't my favourite song of theirs. I think it's a bit sleepy like as a song, but that was a big hit here, like reached number 14 like on like the charts, and that's them like on like the back there. But yeah, the Connells, fantastic band, and yeah, this is probably their most popular album here, so I thought that I ought to have it. Next one up is a new release actually, which again I have Ollie Saunders to thank for recommending it to me, and like giving, and like yeah, like gave it a go, and I really like enjoyed this album and been listening to it like a lot over the past couple of weeks. So it's the new one by Wolf Alice, which is called The Clearing here. So yeah, Wolf Alice, I've been aware of them for a wee while. They have one of the best or like the most acclaimed albums from I think 2021. It's called Blue Weekend, which was quite successful, and I think it got the Mercury Prize nominated, like and like whatnot, like as well. But this is the follow up here, and very strong kind of 70s sort of vibes. I called like this album here. A few songs that are quite Fleetwood Macy, but then there's like I mean my favourite like is a song called Bread Butter Tea Sugar, which sounds like ELO on steroids. It's just absolutely brilliant. And like Ellie, what's called like Ellie Roswell, I think her name is. She's got a fantastic voice, and the whole band are like great. And this is a really lovely package. No gatefold, however, but it's on a nice sort of whitish kind of vinyl there, which is pretty cool. Then you also get a booklet in here too, which just has all of the lyrics and credits and such like here, and some pictures, which is quite nice. And then you also then get a massive poster as well, so very much emulating the 70s excess album packaging like as well. So that's what's that there. That's the album cover, and then just the inner spread there, which would have made a really nice gatefold actually, like to the album. But anyway, yeah, a great record here though. Will be up there like on my albums off the year list, like I'm sure. Okay, and then the last 2 I've got to show were both in their kind of sales section, their kind of warehouse clearance. And yeah, one in particular was an absolute bargain. This one is an album that I had recommended to me a couple of years ago. I think it came out either 23 or 24. And I did like it, but I maybe wasn't super duper crazy about it. But I seen it in the sale bin for £10, a brand new copy of it. So I thought I'd pick it up. And it's the Umbrellas here. I believe they're like an American band, but again, very much in the kind of like indie sort of jangle pop sort of vein. Like again, I don't know anything about them really, like other than they're American and they're quite good. And this is on a sort of green vinyl, this I think. And yeah, the inner sleeve just looks like that, and it's on, yeah, a nice green vinyl. Okay, and then the last thing I've got to show, which was the absolute steal, like off like the day really, was this, which is the George Harrison Living in the Material World with deluxe box set here. We'll say deluxe box set. It's a kind of 2 LP version, so it's got the remix on it that was done, because again, this is from 2023, actually 2024, like this was like released like last year. So this is like the 2 LP version, so it's got the remixed album, which is a brilliant remix. I probably really didn't actually fully appreciate the album like until like I heard like that remix like on Spotify, and it is, yeah, and like it is like a fantastic remix. And then this has then also got some extra material on it as well, and this was £14 I paid for this, which is an absolute bargain. It's nicely packaged as well, maybe a little bit everything a bit too boxed in, because it's kind of got like, so the album is sort of like this sort of gatefold here, and then you've got the kind of replica sort of like inner sleeves here, which are quite nice, but they just feel like they haven't really got much of a home like on the album. So there's those, and then you've also then in here got the album, got again another massive poster here of George. Let's take a look at this. So you've got, let's get this open here. You've got Living in the Material World on that side, and then you've got, again, a nice picture of George there, like on the other, where the kind of hand photo I think was taken from. So yeah, no, that's very nice poster, that. And then you also, in here, in the other one, have got the other album, and then a nice booklet as well. So just with some new linear notes written about the album. So I thought this was an absolute bargain, £14. I mean, I didn't need this. I didn't bother buying it like when it was like when it first came out. But I thought for that price, I had to get it. And so yeah, that is that. So yeah, very happy to get the George Harrison Living in the Material World. So yes, I hope you have enjoyed this vinyl update video. So if there's any of these albums you'd like to see me review on my channel, please do let me know in the comments below. And yep, I'll see you all next time for the next video. Goodbye.